Hey folks, it's Brian. We got to play in the Elderath campaign last night, and we started off the session discussing some clarifications on skills and mechanics and that kind of thing. I do have the live play in the description, but that was actually we actually started playing. So, in reference to that comment about skill description and stuff, I recalled back, or Wes recalled, when he fell in the moat, that there was a scaly hand that wasn't actually trying to keep me down in the water, but was actually up and out. Because with the new rules on swimming that we clarified, there's no way I would have been. I would have been drowning on round one. Okay, so we're going to the stairs. As we go down, we smell this sickly sweet smell of decaying flesh, and there are rodent markings. It's dark down here. So we light torch. I light the lantern. That torch is second. I'm like fourth. There's like 5 of us in a row. We go down the stairs. There's a collapsed section of the ceiling to the left, about 20 feet, and to the right, about 10 feet. There's a wall. On one side, there's a resemblance of a doorway, because there's a door. It's off its hinges, but the stone, it looks like a stone facade, like a secret door kind of thing. Beyond us on the south wall, about 20 feet, there are pillars that are open to the room to the north. There are rats and flies everywhere. The smell of death permeates the whole room. On the wall, where the stairs come down, around the corner, there are claw marks scraped into the side of the wall around that corner there, and there's a large brown feather that's kind of white at the end. Go down and get it. Alexander thinks it might be a griffin feather. As we enter the room, on the floor, further away from us, is an undulating mass, from the torchlight. As we look a little closer, it looks like something, turns out to be a griffin. It's being eaten by rats. Raymond stomps his foot and tries to shoo them away, but they all turn and attack. He calls, "Oh, let's bring the torch!" And he moves back against the wall, to the corner, get his back against the wall kind of thing. Toth gets to the bottom of the stairs, swings the torch. He hits one of the rats and kills it outright. I get to where I get down furthest where I can see, and I cast Stun Cloud, which is one of the Wind Law spell law list spells. There we go. And the way Rollmaster works is these things give out criticals. The criticals have special effects. I'm not sure how the GM's is actually what's the word? Well, how he makes that happen, because he has actual damage occur. Interprets, that's the word. How he interprets that specifically, but he's got to figure it out on his side. And so for 2 rounds it does C-type crits, and 2 rounds it does B-type crits, and 2 rounds it does A-type crits. So he's got doing damage, every round kind of thing. And there are a handful of rats in that area. At the same time, Raymond's throwing a vial of oil, crashes on the floor, spreads all out, and Toth then tosses the torch in there. So there's the stun cloud hitting the rats, and there's the flames hitting the rats. So we burn up a bunch of them really quick. I warn everybody to stay out of the cloud, so that kind of keeps us, because the cloud's fairly close to where we are. But there's some maneuverability room. But then there's now fire on the floor right in front of us. One of the rats from the fire comes up the stairwells and attacks at me. Whack with the palm of my sword. Raymond's got like 4 or 5 rats on him all over. Toth kicks the one on me against the wall. Whack! It dies. One of the rats gets up underneath Raymond's hauberk and is biting him good. Toth starts fighting some of his rats, and obviously Raymond's trying to hit his own. I jump across the flaming oil to the other side and slash at a couple of his rats and end up killing 2 of those. So once all the rats are dead, the fire's still going. We didn't really put it out. Probably should have. But we'll go and investigate the griffin. It does not have a saddle or harness on it, but it's got the markings like it has been saddled before. There are 2 giant ticks that are dead, but they weren't bloated, but they've been gnawed on by rats. We notice that the griffin's neck has been torn open, like the guys upstairs. And again, there's no blood all over. We search the room, and in one corner to the northeast is a pile of moldering and disused clothing and blankets, all piled together like a nest. And there's a depression in the middle. It's actually elongated, maybe 9 feet long kind of thing. As we're poking through, Alexander finds a small box. There's some silver coins in that I grab, and some beads. Well, these are old coins, like Vorge age coins. I've kind of got the party treasure thing, so grab that. On the south, this door is barred on this side. We all set up with ranged weapons, and Toth pulls the bar, opens the door. Inside are 2 dead bodies. They've been badly beaten, and again, their throats have been tore up, and they're chained, one to the south wall, one to the east wall. Toth is concerned these guys are undead and are going to come to life, so I take my dagger out and saw off their heads while everybody searches around. They don't find anything. Based upon the level of decay, they're fairly fresh. These guys probably died about the same time as the guys upstairs. The other door is also barred. No, the other door has a bar function, but there's no bar on it. There we go. But as Toth opens it, it makes very little noise. We can see the hinges are in good shape and have been recently greased. It's a small storage room, broken shelves along the walls, broken crates and crockery and such. There's a path through the debris in the room to another door, and in front of that door in the southwest is a large form on the ground. Humanoid shape, but it's not moving. But then it does. It stands up. It used to be an ogre. It's now a zombie. Toth steps back, shuts the door. We take the other bar and bar it down. And we set up our own little ambush. We pour oil in front of the door. And Toth is ready to light. He's going to unbar the door, unlatch it, and light the fire. So when the zombie comes out, and the zombie's hitting the door, bam! Bam! So we kind of time it out. He's fairly consistent on when he hits the door. And we all arrange ourselves so door swings open, the zombie comes flying out into the fiery oil, and we all step forward and attack. That's the plan. and it works as expected. Raymond's able to hit it, but doesn't get through its tough skin. Toth does some decent damage with a kick. I end up missing him, but Alexander also hit it. But he attacks me. I was able to deflect it with my dagger. But after that, everybody hits and he goes down. We do notice that his neck has also been torn open. And the storage room is more. There is spoiled food, more rotten blankets. South door has no bar and opens into a room. As we get some light in there, there's a very large room. There's pillars in there. There's a triangular shape from the seating on one side. There are doors to the southwest. There are hangers here up for like trophies and shields and such. There's a remains of a weapons rack. It's been all broken. It's littering against the walls. This room is really kind of confusing. It ends up being kind of an L shape with us at the point. So there's stuff going west and stuff going south. On the south, there are doors on the west and an opening on the east. And so we go to investigate those. The triangle shape is actually stairs coming down, and the far side is some debris against the wall. So we start checking out these doors. I got those lanterns, so I hold it up. They obviously look like cell doors, right? They're small, they're narrow, and there's a little window kind of thing where you pull it open and look inside. I do that, and a skillful hand comes out at me, dodge out of the way. And there's like 4 or 5 of these doors that go down that direction. The last cell door, as I'm doing this, opens up. 2 skeletons come out, but they're moving really, really slow. And so I arrange myself. Hey guys, they're coming, they're coming, they're coming. And the skeletons keep coming forward. And as they pass the next door, that door opens up, and 2 more skeletons come out. So as they're coming closer to us, more doors opening, more skeletons coming out. Eventually, one gets close to me. Okay, I hit this one. At that point, everybody else moves, engages the skeletons. It was a mess. But these skeletons are wearing a mix of chain and plate, and it's old and broken and stuff like that. So it's not doing full 7 or 8 points of damage, but it looks like it's blocking about 6 though. So as we're hitting, and this melee lasted quite a while, both in number of rounds and in game time. So we are hitting fairly consistently. The skeletons are not hitting very often at all, but we are not getting through this armor very much. After the first round of that, I go ahead and I cast the stun cloud again, back by one of the pillars. So it's got like 3 of the skeletons in its cloud. 3 plus this. It was I threw it at the door, the very first door, the one that's got the skeleton that reached down at me. So we believe it's getting the skeleton inside that cell, plus it's getting 3 more that are out there. And round after round after round, finally, the cloud ends up killing like 2 of the skeletons. And then from hits, one of the other skeletons, one of those skeletons goes down. There are a few specials that get through. I do get hit and miss a parry on my right arm. I took a couple points of damage, but I don't have that many hit points. So it went down to 1. Still functional, but not good. I do end up getting a critical parry through one of these attacks. And the way our fencing rules work is on a special or better parry, you turn that into a post, but I missed my attack. That first stun cloud goes out. People have shifted and stuff, so I cast another stun cloud closer to me. Ends up beating up some more skeletons. As we move forward, the only one who seems to be doing any really damage is Toth. Ooh, I do manage to get a slash on one of them in the head. I did 5 points of damage. 5 points of damage and went through. It did 11 points of damage, so 5 got through. And I was able to finish that skeleton off. We go and check the first cell that had the one skeleton reaching through at us. He's in fact destroyed. I'm going there, and it turns out he had a steel broadsword with him. I believe Raymond took that up to use at that point. And we discussed, steel weapons and who's got the steel dagger? Well, you do. No, I already have my own steel dagger. I don't need it. So Alexander got the steel dagger that we got from the spider tower. Okay, there's an opening in the room way south. There's an opening on the west. It opens up into a torture chamber. We do notice that the thumb screws have been used recently, and there are initials carved into the table between the thumb screws. It says PC. There is a like drag marks trail between the thumb screws and the south. There's 2 pillars here, the south pillar. And we're searching the south pillar over and over, all of us. Everybody's looking. None of us find anything. We go back to the north part of that room where the triangle with the stairs are there. Going up the stairs, it just blocks off at a wood ceiling. I do find a latch, and that opens up, and it opens into a little alcove. And inside this alcove, there's a peephole into another alcove in the upper area that looks into the main room. So we go back down, cover the door again. Okay, and then we decide, okay, let's clear out some of this debris because, in the middle of there's a 20-foot hallway or door wall, and the middle 10 feet have all this stuff in front. Yeah, right. That was done there on purpose. So we start moving stuff out of the way. And as we do so, a mist starts to come out from underneath the door and fill the room. So we say, okay, it's getting evening. This is not good. So we go all the way back the way we came, and we go back to the spider tower, set up camp there. During the fourth watch, which Alexander has, or is it Raymond? No, it's Raymond. Raymond has that one. He's watching through the arrow slit out into the courtyard of the moat house, and the mist is coming up out of the building to the stairs, and it's shaped like hands crawling down the stairs and out into the thing. As soon as Raymond sees that, he goes down and he wakes up Alexander, and they both go up there. Yeah, at this point, the courtyard is filled with mist, and there is a figure standing in the center of the courtyard. At that, Raymond goes to wake the rest of us up. Alexander pulls his bow out and is getting ready to take a shot at it when the figure starts to rise up in the air, and his cloak swings out into giant bat wings and flies up into the sky. The mist follows him, and he disappears. The rest of us get up there. Everything's gone. Alexander explains what he saw. We decide in the morning we're going to go back and check out that room. And at that, we think we're done. Go back to Rufus and Burns and report what we have. A couple more hours until daylight. Everybody else is kind of up. I rest a little more, do some meditation, get some more magic points back. So we go back into the room, down the stairs, through the rooms, into the room with the stairwell and the blockaded doors. So we unblockade the door. Well, there's two of them. We unblockade both doors. In the first door, no coffin. There are 12 suits of armor, all heavy leather, each emblazoned with a flaming eye. 12 sets of this stuff. There are 12 shields, each emblazoned with a flaming eye. A number of barrels of salted meat and some kegs that are marked with a famous brewer from Minnock. Minnock is a city off to the east. And as brandy. So we broke one open, see what it is. It is brandy. So we fill up our wine and water skins with this brandy. We go to the other room. Again, no coffin. But there are weapon racks with spears and pikes and glaives and battle axes. There are cases of arrows and crossbow bolts. And boxes of black clothing and black cloaks. The black cloaks have that eye symbol on them as well. I don't remember if the clothing did. Maybe the clothing did too. So we gather up some stuff. I take one of the breastplates from the heavy leather armor. It's got the blazoned eye on it. Raymond takes 2 sets of the black clothing and 2 of the cloaks and a whole bunch of arrows. We gather this stuff up. I'm sure other people grab some other things, and then we head off back to Hallman. It's going to take a couple days to get there, so we get about halfway. There's a point on the bluff, and if you watch the video, I pulled the map for this part so you can see how the coastline goes and where we camped. So we camped there, and we can notice some ships out in the I would call it a bay, but they're some passing east, some passing west. Toth during his watch sees light flare up out over the ocean, and the ships are being lit up. And later on, there's more flaming. You can actually see that one of the ships is on fire. Next morning, we can all see smoke coming up from the north out over on the water. It's now Tenwall, which is the 4th day of the week. There are 9 days in a week. And we continue on to Hamlet. We get there. It's kind of late. We send a boy, or Raymond. Raymond sends a boy to go let Rufus know that we are back, and we're just kind of hanging out at the inn. Boy comes back. Rufus then asking for us. Okay, good to go. So we separate our various ways. I get Mistress Gundigoo to get me a hot tub and have someone clean all these clothes and my gambeson as well. I can clean. I should. have her clean up have somebody clean up my leather stuff too. Remember his and Greaves because they were in the swampy moat. Ugh. So I scrub and I scrub and I scrub for my bath. Clean up, clean up, clean up. Raymond goes back to the church temple, and next morning he tells us what happened. He shares with his leadership, this eye symbol stuff, and left a set with them, so they had one, so they go to the church with that, and we still have a set to go with to Rufus and Burns. Calmer, which is his immediate supervisor, is deeply concerned about it. Apparently, this symbol is a symbol of a heinous cult that the people here were at war with some 90 years ago. He's very disturbed that this stuff is here. This is fresh stuff. This is brand new. That kind of thing. The church superior to him is Turgeon, and he is late getting back from an important mission to the east, back a whole week late. And so Calmer's afraid that maybe Turgeon being late and the appearance of this cult stuff is tied together. And he tells Raymond that they need to let their superiors in Telgar know about what's going on here. Okay, in the morning, we all get together. We're getting ready to head over to the tower and show Rufus and Burns. So we go and get our stuff, and all the stuff with the eyes on it is gone. As we're, I come downstairs. Actually, Hoff, I think, comes downstairs too. I'm not sure where Alexander's stand. And then Raymond comes to the church, and we're all going, all the stuff's gone. All stuff's gone. And so we're talking about that, and as we're trying to figure out what's going on, an acolyte from the church shows up, looking around, sees Raymond, runs to him, whispers in his ear, and tells him that Calmer is dead. He's starting to figure out, he's been murdered. There's a knife in his back. And this Gundy turns, what? Someone's been murdered? Calm down. Raymond, gets control of the situation. He says, hey, we're going to check this out. No need to worry just yet. So we all get together. And so we're talking to the acolytes. We're heading to the church about what happened. He explains, in detail everything he did that morning. Getting up, doing his prayers. He's cleaning the stall, that kind of stuff. Finally gets there. He goes to Calmer's room and he finds him and he's dead. There's blood everywhere. When we get there, there are only two initiates here at the church. One with us, one who's been guarding the door, turning everybody away, that kind of thing. We tell them to keep that up. And we go in. Raymond tells the initiate to lead us to the room. We get there. Sure enough, he's sitting at his desk, knife in his back, blood everywhere. The window's open, so Toth goes and checks that out. The eye items here are all gone. We pull the knife out. It's got substance on it, like it's been poisoned. Otherwise, it's completely nondescript. Toth does one of his monk things and starts following a scent around the room. At the window, the scent does not go down; it goes up. So he climbs up the wall, and he says that there are marks for a grapnel up here on the top of the roof, and that the scent is going across the roof. At that, Alexander climbs through the window, starts trying to climb up. Raymond and I, we move through the building out to where Toth is telling us that where the scent's going. So we're on the ground, looking up, waiting for Toth to show up on the roof. Eventually, Alexander shows up down here with us, and Toth starts climbing down the wall. He gets about halfway, and at that, he seems to get stuck. Can't find it. Just jump. So he does his monk jumping, rolling when he hits the ground kind of thing. So he's fine. And while we're here, we can't find any tracks. But Toth, doing his scent thing, is following his trail into the forest. Once we get in the forest, Alexander's able to pick up actual tracks on the ground, and it leads off to an actual cliff, about 20 feet or so. And there's nothing around that seems to indicate where this guy would have been going. So I stay here. Everybody else wanders down and around, comes back to the bottom of the cliff. Okay, this is the spot, and then I come down. we are able to find a trail there that goes east, but then we lose it. So Toth redoes his monk smelling thing and catches a trail. So with him and Alexander following both scent and physical trail, it goes east and then turns south where they lose it. Which tells us that because once they go off into the woods, Raymond and I, we head back to the church. And that's where we ended our session. It was a really great game. If you look at the live play, it lasted 6 hours. Unfortunately, I was able to pause it for one of the breaks we took, but I forgot to for another break. And then at the very end, after everybody's turn has logged off, I was still typing notes and stuff. So there's a drag at the end of nothing happening as well. So anyway, it was a really good game, a good session. We had a lot of fun, did a lot of fighting, got a bunch of skill rolls. We were afraid that maybe this vampire, was actually here when we let it loose. But, as I'm thinking overnight, no. He came to the moat house, slaughtered everybody, and then hid in that room. And then the next day, he got out and he's leaving. So he's going wherever he's going. At least that's what I think happened. That'll be my report to Rufus and Burns when we get back to them. Happy gaming.